Story time about how my best friend was stealing from me. A little background information. I was 17 or 18 whenever this all happened, and I was a senior in high school. Now, my family and I had just moved to a new state, and that is where I met my best friend, who we are going to call Grace. Now, Grace and I clicked instantly, but anytime that we would hang out, she would always want to come to my house and never wanted to go to hers. Her excuse was that she had a lot of siblings and our house was super small, there was nothing to do, which I didn't really care. I had no problem with this at all. Until some weird started happening in my house. And when I say weird, I mean that stuff in my house literally started disappearing. Now, at first I wasn't that suspicious because it was just my clothes. And y'all know how things get lost in the laundry sometimes. But then it started to become stuff like my shoes and purses. So, I go and I ask my mom if she's seen any of my clothes or shoes or purses. And she goes and looks through her things to see if anything might be mixed in, but while she's doing that, she's realizing that some of her shit is missing too. So at first we're thinking that it's the cleaning lady, which I feel super bad about, but before we blame anybody else that, we love and trust, and we think would never steal from us, we would think that it would be more logical for somebody who doesn't really know us to steal from us. So we confront her and she denies everything, but just to be sure, we did something to test her and she did not steal it. But after this, we're getting a little bit worried that other stuff in the house might be missing, so we go and look, and our jewelry is missing as well. So now we only had 2 suspects. First, we had my cousin, because she would stay over sometimes, and then we had Grace, which I thought was very unlikely because she was always with me. But nonetheless, I started to be more cautious around her. I would try to be more aware of where and what she was doing while she was in my house. And for a few days, nothing happened. So obviously, after a few times of her coming over, I was 99.9% sure that she wasn't stealing from us. But then, of course, the one night, she must have not realized that I was still awake because she got up to, I'm assuming, go to the bathroom. So I keep pretending to be asleep, and when she walked out of my room, I saw her walk towards the living room. And I decided not to go out there. Instead, I was gonna wait until she came back because that would be super awkward if I just went out there and she really could have just been getting some water or something. Well, what do you know? She comes back with some of our shit and she stuffs it in her book bag. So I decided not to confront her. I actually wait till the next day to just tell my mom about it. And that's when she told me that I just wasn't allowed to speak to Grace again or see her. But I went in my bag, so I go to her house to surprise her. Her sister ends up answering the door and she lets me in. So, she brings me into the living room and I'm sitting on the couch, and whenever Grace comes into the living room, y'all should have saw her. It looked like she's seen a ghost. And then she goes, "Why are you here?" Like, girl, you're not even gonna pretend to be happy to see me after you just robbed me? How rude of you. No, but I actually told her that I was there to finish a project with her, so she was like, okay, we can do it in the living room. And then I tell her that I need to go to the bathroom, and I go back. I find her room. As soon as I walk in, I see my stuff. So I pull my phone out and I record everything. And she walks in her room. I don't even care. I'm literally still recording everything. Like, she's crying and saying, "Oh my goodness, my mom made me steal this stuff because we're low-key down bad right now and we need money, da-da-da-da-da, and she knew y'all were rich." Like, babe, do me a favor. Save the sob story for someone who cares. And okay, just for shits and giggles, let's say that you are struggling. If you're struggling that bad, you would have been sold my stuff, because why is everything still in your room? So, I threatened to call the cops on her unless she gives all my shit back, and she didn't want that, so obviously she gave it all back. Well, I did find out a few days later that she was, in fact, trying to sell my stuff, but I don't care.
Okay, have I ever told you guys that I used to have a god sister that used to try to, unalive me every day? I feel like I've never told this story. I literally used to have a god sister. My mom was in the process of adopting her, that would try to unalive me in, hundreds of different ways for, 5 crucial years of my life. I'm laughing because, honestly, it's so long ago, but at the same time, it's still really traumatizing. I won't lie. I know she'd be watching this, so, hi. Please stay away from me, literally. She had her own problems, and I respect that, but she gave me some of my own. So, you're really weird. When I was younger, my mom's best friend had a bunch of kids, and one of them was this girl that my mom really loved, and she really took to my mom, so my mom was in the process of adopting her because her friend was really neglecting this child. Anyway, this child ended up living with us, and she was, 10 years older than me. Because she really took to my mom, she wasn't really threatened by my sister because my sister was as old as she, pretty much. But I was a baby cutesy pootsy wootsy, the cutest thing you ever did saw. So, she really, really was jealous of the affection my mom showed me. Girl, she used to put knives in my bed sheets so that I would, if I rolled over a really wrong way, hello, is this prison? I used to, sit in my bed before nighttime and be like, just so you know, when you go to sleep, there's, monkeys on your bed that are gonna bite your toes and eat your feet and kill you. I had, and still do, have recurring dreams of monkeys pulling me out from under my bed and eating my toes. Still have those dreams. I've had those dreams since I was 4. I used to have to get a Sprite to go to bed because, the only thing that would calm me down. Sprite. I don't really know why, but Sprite really helped. When I was younger, I really loved to take baths, which, every kid did, but I really loved baths, and I really loved bubble baths, so I would always put shampoo in the bath. And one time she was like, oh, I'm gonna make your bath so fun. Do you want purple bubbles? And I was like, yes. Oh, well, she put Fabuloso in my bathtub and like bleach. She made a chemical concoction for my 5-year-old body to sit in. Okay. Fair enough. I don't want to say her name, but her name is so ironic for the things she used to do to me. Like, devil. Like, it might as well have been devil. Mom, like, walked upstairs while this was happening and was like, what is that smell? Oh, my daughter's in Fabuloso. Perfect. Fabulous, actually, if I might even. So many other things. Honestly, she was just very much terrorizing me mentally and physically. But the last thing that really drew the line for my mom, because my mom was confused on what to do, she tried to SA me. So she got sent to a permanent institution, and now she has 10 kids of her own, basically. I really don't care. I know a lot of people still care about her. My experience is my experience, and I do not want nothing to do with this person. She's always looking at my TikTok, always looking at my Facebook. I want nothing to do with her, or if it's you, hi, I want nothing to do with you. Terrorized me and tried to assault me at a time where I was still forming my formative memories. So thank you so much for that. I do think it's just funny, like, my life is so weird, and the fact that I just had like a random god sister that was literally bent on trying to end my life. What? Please.
I bought and gave my granddaughter a DNA test. Get ready with me, anonymous story time. This is about my granddaughter. She is 15 years old. She's always had it rough since middle school, especially because she looked different from her siblings. Personally, I was even confused to how she had curly ginger hair while the rest of her siblings and family had dark hair. I just knew that there was something odd. I have questions of my own, but if we're being honest, I'd rather not know because I love my granddaughter. This issue came up when my granddaughter came up to me and told me that her parents had banned her from getting an ancestry test. I did speak to my son and daughter-in-law and mentioned to them that something fishy was going on around her birth and that they needed to let her know, and all they told me was to not worry about it. Not to mention, they also denied it. Fast forward 2 years later, my granddaughter is now 17 years old. She is now in high school, and she mentioned to me that she has a biology class. Because her parents weren't giving her any answers, my granddaughter went to her biology teacher and told her a little bit of her situation. Long story short, her biology teacher told her that it was odd for her to have some traits. My granddaughter was so stressed, she just wanted to know the truth, so she ended up coming to me and asking me if I was able to buy her DNA test because her parents kept denying a lot of information from her, and when she asked them if they can buy it for her, they did not want to, so the next person she ran to was me. I felt extremely guilty telling her no, so I ended up giving in and buying her a DNA test. Basically, she is not her mother's kid. The real story is my son ended up getting another girl pregnant, and her bio mother ended up giving birth to my granddaughter. She ended up giving her up. The situation has blown up in the family, and my granddaughter is now extremely pissed off because her parents lied to her when she gave them countless of opportunities and times to be honest with her. I'm also getting a ton of hate because I'm the one who bought her the DNA test. It's gone to the point where the entire family won't talk to me, and that's making my granddaughter even more mad. I'm starting to think that maybe I was in the wrong for buying my granddaughter the DNA test instead of her parents actually coming clean and letting her know the actual truth. What would you have done if you were in my shoes?